Based on the clip that was shown, you would have guessed what our topic is for this semester, and we are looking at mental illness. Now, before we begin, I'm going to introduce the group members. And first, we have Tiffany Buckland, Letitia Latiboudier, Tiana Johnson, Okeem Marston, and Selena Williams. First, before we get into the issues facing the client population, I'm going to define what is mental illness and give some examples. Mental illness is a condition in which a person's mind, feelings, and behaviors are affected and causes distress and impairment in functioning. Examples include ADHD, depression, schizophrenia, autism, OCD, and anxiety. In terms of these statistics of people with mental illness, PAHO did a study in 2019 which stated that there is an increase in the number of individuals seeking treatment for mental illness in Jamaica. In years 2013 and 2014, there were 90,000 visits to public health facilities for mental health treatments, and this amount has increased over the years, but it is still not enough because half of the amount who actually need treatment are not going in to get the treatment. Around 3% of Jamaicans suffer from depression, and approximately 4% of Jamaicans suffer from anxiety. And women have a higher rate of depression and anxiety than men. Now, these are just two examples, or the statistics for two examples of the two types of mental illness, depression and anxiety. Now, why is it important for persons with mental illness to seek help? It boosts productivity and occupational functioning because sometimes mental illness does affect the daily function of persons. It improves relationships, and it helps to improve crime rate and suicide rate. In a few cases, crimes are committed by mentally unfit persons, and a lot of these crimes are committed against family members or those within their close circles. And also, early medical intervention and self-care can help to minimize the number of suicide deaths. Mental illness.
The following factors could potentially result in a period of poor mental health: childhood abuse, trauma, neglect, social disadvantages such as poverty, domestic violence, and the list goes on. There are also mental disorders that are not only social but biological. These consist of prenatal damage, brain injury, genetics, and substance abuse, all factors which affects the brain from performing to its best advantage. Persons suffering from mental illness are typically attacked socially, emotionally, physically, and financially. These challenges would include low self-esteem caused by persons in the environment, fear to express themselves due to prejudged mentality from any individuals they face, social challenges, fear of social adapting to anyone or any surrounding because it's hard to find someone that they can relate to. Learning disorder, which is a challenge based on the type of illness that person has. Unemployment and physical challenges, again also based on the illness. Why are they coming to social workers for help? It is best for these persons that are suffering from mental illness to have someone that they can speak to that is not biased and or judgmental. Someone that understands the consequences that comes with being the outcast of society. Talking or expressing yourself is always great for any individual that is mentally at war about how they act, how they want to act, and how persons in society expect.
Mentally challenged people face stigma from the general public because many people view them as harmful due to their incapacity to understand harm and danger. To some extent, that is true, but if we show greater interest in helping them with medical treatment from the minor to the major mentally ill, we would have a higher rehabilitation rate amongst the mentally ill. Because not everyone who is mentally challenged is a full-blown mad person. Some of them just suffer from disorders that can be treated, which would result in little to no stigma towards them. If we take a different approach towards the mental ill, many of them also face a lack of family support. Some family discover that a loved one is being treated due to mental illness, and that individual is oftentimes shunned or left alone to battle with mental illness. They simply don't understand that an individual can get help and somewhat return to a state where they are functioning much better. There's also a lack of government support for the mentally challenged people. Many of them are homeless and vulnerable. A non-profit organization can get help from the government and stakeholders to assist with shelters for the homeless mentally challenged individuals. This way, they would have somewhere to sleep, a record of them would be in place, and they could assist them with the medical care they need to be stable or recover from mental illness, and that is indeed possible. Many steps can be made to help the mentally challenged population because they are like a forgotten set of people in our country, and they have the right to help and health care like any other citizen suffering from any other illness.
In conclusion, mental illness has made its rounds on multiple individuals in our society today. This can be seen in statistical evidence provided all over. This ill fortune can come about for multiple reasons, whether biologically or just due to environmental trauma or issues. It is also known that mental illness draws on a lengthy list of challenges for its host. These can become detrimental if these individuals lack a companion or family member they can speak to, or if they just decide not to speak out at all. For these reasons, social worker is deemed important, as through talking therapy, support, and advocacy, they enable these people to manage social factors of their lives that allow them to get well and stay well. In conclusion, mental illness has made its rounds on multiple individuals in our society today. This can be seen in statistical evidence provided all over. This ill fortune can come about for multiple reasons, whether biologically or just due to environmental trauma or issues. It is also known that mental illness draws on a lengthy list of challenges for its host. These can become detrimental if these individuals lack a companion or family member they can speak to, or if they just decide not to speak out at all. For these reasons, the social worker is deemed important, as through talking therapy, support, and advocacy, they enable these people to manage social factors of their lives that allow them to get well and stay well.